ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान् वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किक केसरी वेदांताचार्य वर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुज दया पात्रं ज्ञान वैराग्य भूषणं श्रीमद् वेंकटनाथार्य वंदे वेदांत देशिकम्। சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
In the kingdom, among the members of the royal family, as well as the whole nation, there may not be very many people to aspire for emancipation. Perhaps even advised by all people to have only the last goal of life as our one single aim. Many of us tend to love this world, live further in many births. We prefer even to suffer. And we are after some fleeting, transitory, impermanent, temporary pleasures of this world. Therefore, sometimes out of devotion we say to our parents, even grandparents, that I should be in the next birth born to you only as a son or a daughter. If I am a daughter, then I will say, again I should be born to you only in the next birth. Meaning, you ask your mother also to be born again. It is not, of course, recommended. It is not recommended. Let us have the next paragraph. We are talking about Sikaratvam. So, Tatrantara Siddhantasya Sikaratvam Mokshapradattvam cha. This is where Vadagalai Sampradaya differs exactly opposite to Tengalai Sampradaya. When Tengalai Sampradaya says what you call Tennachari Sampradaya, otherwise Sanskrit is Dakshinachari Sampradaya, doesn't mean Dakshina and Uttara refer to the places of living, North India or South India. It is by the Sampradaya, but it is the tradition. In fact, you can say Dakshina, yes. Dakshina meaning expert. Daksha meaning expert. Dakshina is one who has Dakshinyam, meaning compassion. Compassionate people may belong to Tengalai Sampradaya. Uttara is for north. So we are better. Vadagalai Sampradaya is supposed to be better than the other one. Everybody can claim his own tradition as the better tradition. Sometimes it is the best tradition. For example, than the Shaivagama, we are the best. We are the best. We are not supposed to worship Lord Shiva. Even when we go to a temple compulsorily, by compulsion, we must always see the inner soul of all other gods. We call them demigods. Unfortunately, this term is not liked by the other parties. And for example, when you perform, they were Chudra Devatas. We add one more derogatory word. Anya Devata is a very decent word. Chudra Devata. Little puppets. Eskimos, you can say Eskimos. Chudra Devatas. So here, another thing that we say about despise or the other tradition is, in the sacrifices, I wanted to tell you, in the sacrifices of fire rituals, we worship all gods, including Indra, Brihaspati, all gods, 33 crores of gods. If you have names, then we worship everybody. When we say Indraya Namaha, Indraya Swaha, when we add ghee, havis, on any material to offer it to the fire by saying Indraya Swaha, it doesn't go to Indra. It goes to the Antaryami of Indra. That's what we say. So outwardly we say the names. Even for example, take our own example. We take food. When we take food, where does it go? To whom do we offer that? To whom do we offer that? Antaryami only. In order to grow or increase our spirit of devotion, our food should go to the God only. It is not to nourish our physical body or the individual soul. It goes to satisfy the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. That should be the attitude. But because unfortunately, and fortunately, or fortunately, we identify our soul with the body. We never separate them. When we say Jivatma, we add a name. My name is so and so. And when I move from Srirangam to some other place, who goes? The soul goes, the individual soul goes, or individual body goes. Body only goes. Soul remains in Srirangam. How can a soul remain in Srirangam alone? The problem is, so it will always be with the body. So the manas goes, the mind goes, the imagination goes, the subconscious thought goes. So what you call the difference between the body, individual soul, and the supreme soul. That is what we call men and matters. Tattva hita purushartham. Tattva hita purushartham, the three principles. How do we understand? Now we have a very good proposition of Vadagalai Sampradaya, namely Pancaratra being propagated by Lord Mahavishnu himself, and when it was told by him to Mahalakshmi, so Mahalakshmi is the most important deity, Devata. She has every right to give our emancipation. So don't say that she has half the right because she is a better half, not even good half, she is a better half. She can individually allot. Where is the example? In Ramayana, Sita gave protection to the demonesses who disturbed her throughout her stay. Hanuman wanted to kill them. She didn't allow him to kill them. Did she get permission from Rama before giving protection to the demonesses? No, he was not consulted at all. Generally, consultation will be done, mutual agreement will be there, but in certain cases, she did on her own. So that means moksha pradatvam remains with her. more than the Lord. The responsibility of granting the beatitude is rest with her. R-E-S-T, rest with her. Whatever be the Siddhanta, whether you take the main Siddhanta, 4 Siddhantas, or Tantrantara. Tantra and Siddhanta are synonyms. Please note, please remember, please remind yourselves that Tantra and Siddhanta are one and the same, synonymous. So, Tantrantara Siddhantasya, if you have a procedure included in the Siddhanta, what you call the principle, the conclusive principle, if you consult any other tradition, take any other tradition under Vaishnava system, under Vaishnava Agamas, Srikaratvam, Mokshapradattvam. Wherever, whatever you consider, it will have the auspiciousness attached to the tradition by the divine presence of goddess of fortune. That is very important. So, Moksha Pradatvam, the corollary will be the resultant of the presence of Mahalakshmi in the tradition, wherever you find in the Vaishnava Agama, whether it is Vaikhanasa or Pancaratra. Moksha Pradatvam is the grant of the freedom from birth and death. He is with her. H capital, H-E-R. So Srikara, now this is corroborated, this is supported by a book called Srikara Samhita. So Srikara Samhita, also I think you have Sri Prashna Samhita. Prashna generally meaning question, but this Prashna is like a Kerala term, Malayalam term. Prashna meaning the science here. Srikara Samhitayam cha, in Srikara Samhita also, Prag-uktasya eva, as has been said earlier, Uktasya said, the Siddhanta Chatushtayasya, all the 4 Siddhantas have been mentioned in Srikara Samhita. Srikaraha meaning, Karaha the hand, Srikaraha meaning auspicious hand, Srikaraha is Mahalakshmi's divine hand, because the hand gives, the hand blesses, the hand grants. Let us all take right hand only. Left hand also shows. In the Lord also, you find the right hand gives the word, and left hand shows the divine feet. Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Uplepan Kovil. The right hand tells you the words Mamekam Sharanam Vraja in diamond. The left hand shows the feet. Where should we go? Mamekam Sharanam Vraja means in which part of the divine figure of the Lord should we surrender to? So we should surrender only at the feet, divine feet. So left hand shows down. So Siddhanta Chatushtayasya Veda Siddhantaha. Now whatever be your Siddhanta, the Siddhanta tradition should be based on scriptures. If it is not, throw them out. So Veda Siddhantaha, Divya Siddhantaha, Tantra Siddhantaha, Purana Siddhantaha, iti. Now you find these are the 4 Siddhantas which we studied earlier. So Siddhanta tradition based on scriptures, Siddhanta called divine. Now what is the difference between the scripture based on scripture and divine? Divine is Pancaratra, Lakshmi Tantra, as said directly by the divine mouth of the Lord, Sriman Narayan. That is called Divya Siddhanta. And Tantra Siddhanta is a procedure adopted by sages, composed by Maharishis, great sages. And Purana Siddhanta is a tradition followed by the lore, L-O-R-E, the ancient lore, written by different sages again, namely Parashara in Vishnu Purana, Vyasa in 18 Puranas, including Mahabharata and Bhagavata, and then Adi Valmiki as Adi Kavi, and even Ramayana will be called the Purana. And again, whatever Purana you want to say as Sattvika Purana. And therefore, Purana Siddhanta. Purana Siddhanta may be easy to understand through the stories. Tantra Siddhanta is to be understood by the procedures. Divya Siddhanta is to be understood by experience. And Veda Siddhanta should be understood by study, frequent study and repeated study. So, Pragupta, Adura, Viprakrishtahi. Now, there are people who are not different from all these four traditions. As said earlier, Ukta said, Adura, they are not far away. That means they are near. They are at hand. So people who are not separated far away from these four Siddhantas mentioned in Shikara Samhita, Nama Bhedehi, don't look at the differences in names. As you find, say, Pancaratra, Vaikhanasa, Shri Prashna, Ishvara, Parameshwara, your titles are different. But tradition is same. So Nama Bhedehi, by the differences in names, Nama, name, Bheda, difference. Vibhaga Muktva, they are compartmentalized. So they are divided into subdivisions, smaller chapters. Purana Siddhanta Samyitasya, as noted down, as pointed out, Samyitasya, by the Siddhanta tradition, namely the fourth tradition, namely Purana. Very easy to understand. We can read Mahabharata story and understand the principle. And then Tantratra Siddhantasya, and again of Siddhanta tradition given by not only Tantra Siddhanta but Tantrantra Siddhanta. There are some subdivisions under Tantra Siddhanta which have been written by many other sages also, of course without deviation. Moksha Pradasyapi Visheshataha Sikaratvam. While Lord Sriman Narayana grants moksha, the goddess of wealth also has a hand in it, has a secret hand in it. The point is, the Lord without consultation will not give, and he will grant only with consultation, number one. And without consultation, if Lord happens to give, that will be not effective, completely effective. The role, ROLE, the role of Mahalakshmi is mandatory, compulsory, unavoidable. Therefore, Moksha Pradasyapi. Moksha Pradaha is Lord Sriman Narayana. Visheshataha, specially, extraordinarily, Shikaratvam Uttam. You can feel the hand of the goddess. Again, the meaning will be the auspiciousness will attach itself. Okay. Auspiciousness will attach itself to the Siddhanta. So again, positively speaking, with the presence of Mahalakshmi in the Siddhanta, being worshipped in the temples, along with the Lord, meaning either equal importance, sometimes more importance, sometimes a minor role of the goddess of fortune in helping us to get redeemed from the mire of the world. MYRE. Again, we are going to page 31. So 31 we are just passing through now. So Etat Purana Siddhantam Shikarancha Visheshtaha Idam Shikara Samyakhyam Bhoga moksha phalapradam. So when we know that importance is attached to Srikaratvam, namely the stamp, the symbol of Mahalakshmi into the Agama tradition, then please note it also gives us the materialistic pleasures of this world. Neither we are ready to divorce from this world, nor we are aiming at only moksha in this world. We are not concentrating only on the fourth goal of life, and therefore our desires, mundane desires, are fulfilled by the Srikara Samyakhyam, the symbol called Samya symbol, Akhyam by name, Srikara, the hand of Mahalakshmi. So, Etat Purana Siddhantam. So, you find in Mahabharata, in Bhagavata, you find many people are blessed by Mahalakshmi. In Ramayana, you find that the very presence of Mahalakshmi is enough for the blessing of the individual souls. Kamban in Tamil Ramayanam, Kamba Ramayanam, says Rama did not act perfectly because of the absence of Sita nearby. Of course, there is no place or time in which Sita is not found along with Rama. But physically speaking, for our understanding, for our normal understanding, we cannot go beyond this imagination. She is there, but she was not helpful. Again, according to the karma of the individual soul, there was an argument in certain occasions between Lord Srimanarayana and Lord Goddess of Fortune, that the individual soul, either can be blessed or cannot be blessed by the karma theory, and therefore we have so bhoga moksha phala pradam. Bhoga doesn't mean, of course, the pleasure in the heaven, namely Sri Vaikuntham, because it is already assured. There is no iota of displeasure in Vaikuntham as we understand from the Shastras. No suffering, no negativity in Sri Vaikuntham. Therefore, bhoga always means, because moksha itself is bhoga. Moksha means bhoga. Moksha means enjoyment of the Supreme Soul as the Supreme Soul does. And therefore, so what we say in Sanskrit as Samipyam, Salokyam, and Sarupyam. So with this, we find that equal pleasure is experienced by the individual soul called released soul, muktas. There are nityas also like Adishesha, Garuda, Vishwaksena, the 5 weapons, the ornaments on the Lord, everything connected with the. So everybody has got bliss, uncontaminated bliss. Bliss minus suffering. Parasara Bhatta prays to Ranganatha in the last shloka of his Gunaratana Kosha. Sukham, he wants sukham, pleasure, but it should be nirdukham, without displeasure. Happiness unconnected with unhappiness. Shirange Sharatashatam. 100 years of happy life. Sugradver Vargena, along with the friends. Shirange Sharadashatam. So here it says Dukkham Nirdukham, Sukham Nirdukham. So dadatu is it. You please give me. He prays to only goddess Ranganayika in the sanctum sanctorum of Sri Ranganath. It is something paradox. Ranganatha is more happy on hearing the praise of his spouse by the mouth of Parashara Bhatta. Yes. Srikaratvam is so etat Purana Siddhantam Srikarancha Visheshatah idam Srikara Samyakyam Bhoga Moksha Phalapradam. So asya cha iti asya cha purva aparam sarvam sanmarga deepikayam vistarena drashtavyam. Vedanta Deshika advises another book to be read. We have to go to another book. We don't know whether it is available. Keshav Swami will say, Sanmarga Deepika is there. There is a book called Sanmarga Deepika. A lamp to good way, a lamp to good path, a light to good path. Sanmarga Deepika. And how big it is, how many pages we do not know. So Vistarena Drashtavyam. There you have the previous statements mentioned as here as Pragukta mentioned earlier in Pancaratra Samhita, Parameshwara Samhita, Sri Prashna Samhita, Ishwara Samhita, Tikara Samhita, Satvata Samhita, and so on. And latest being Srikara Samhita, Srikara Samhita. Now you find that one more Sanmarga Deepika. It is in detail. It is in detail. Vistarena. Drashtavyam. Go and read. Go and see. So everything is there. Everything is mentioned there. That means you need not take Pancaratra or Vaikhanasa. You can simply contact Sanmarga Deepika. Now why? Because we are interested in Bhoga better, more than the Moksha. And therefore, we will have to consult that book for the earthly pleasures of this world. Bhoga Moksha Phalapradam iti asya. So our concentration is only on the pleasures of this world. So Bhoga Moksha Phalapradam iti asya Srikara Samyaka Samhita Vishesha Anmitatvepi Tasyaha Samhitayaha Purana Siddhanta Antah Patitvat. So what happens here? So though we have Srikara Samya Samhita, name a Samhita by name Srikara, we have attached importance to that, and we have read that, we have understood that, but still Purana Siddhanta Antapatitvat. Please remember, Purana Siddhanta includes the Srikara Samhita, but not directly, but indirectly, and sometimes clearly, explicitly. It can do explicitly or secretly. Openly, you can understand from Purana, namely, the stories will tell us that Srikaratvam is important. The hand of the Lord, goddess is important. The role of the goddess is important. So Antapatitvat, because it is including, it falls down. What you call the Srikaratva Samhita falls down into the Purana Siddhanta, and therefore Visheshataha iti Niyamat. Again, why should we read Srikaratva Samhita? Meaning, we must satisfy ourselves. We must get contented that our goal, our immediate goal, is also satisfied. Immediate goal is also served. So it is catered to. Visheshada Srikaratvam Moksha Pradatvam Cha Siddha. Again, please remember, so when we delve deep into, fall into the ocean of pleasure of this world, we are likely to drown completely inside and then get lost. So it is not the blessing of goddess of wealth, fortune. She is so compassionate. She gives both. She makes you indulge in the pleasures of the world, and she also lifts you from the ocean of pleasure. So she doesn't allow you to forget moksha, and she doesn't restrict you from enjoying the pleasures of this world. So this is the beauty of the generosity, the compassion, the grace, the pity, the sympathy that she takes with the individual souls. And she is also involved in the creation, please remember. It is not Brahma, the four-faced Lord called Creator, Srishtikarta, is doing the entire Srishti. It is he is only an assistant, and according to the instructions strictly being followed, Lord Brahma is creating. So it is creation of the Lord Sriman Narayana only. Again, it is the creation of the divine couple only. Mahalakshmi creates. Sriman Narayana creates, not Brahma. The next step, the responsibility of maintaining the sustenance is also done by both Mahalakshmi and Mahavishnu. Finally, the laya, don't call it destruction. Srishti, Sthiti, laya, we call it laya. So becoming one with the Lord at the end of the creation. So we don't die also. No soul dies. No individual soul dies. And they get new names and they fall into the new birth because of the karma. Again, the actions performed, merits and demerits. Good deeds and bad deeds make us come to this world again and again. So both are given. So Srikamasya Prayashaha hi Rajanaha. Who will be after money? Only kings. Why should they be after money? Raghuvamsha Kalidasa says in Raghuvamsha Kalidasa says in the first canto, Prathama Sargaha, Tyagaya Sambhritarthanam. They collected tax money for the exchequer, for the treasury of the government in order to dispose, in order to sacrifice the same money to the people. Today, all governments are against. Whether it is a nation or a state government, whether it is foreign country or inland, everybody does all nonsense. So Rajanaha hi prayashaha. Generally, kings are avaricious to get money, property. Sri Kamaha. Rashtravartinaha cha. The people also go behind the kings in seeking wealth. Even when they are sufficient enough. So tatu samriddhi artheshu. All the money is available to them, both the subjects and the king. Sadharana sthaneshu, even in ordinary positions. Now we normally quote in our daily context, a beggar on the road begs always, but he has a cumulative deposit in a bank. He has crores and or at least lakhs of rupees as deposit, but he begs. That's what we say. So sadharana sthaneshu, even when they are in the ordinary positions, tantrantara siddhantasya auchityam adhikam. So whether people are better in wealth or low in wealth, Tantratra Siddhanta will be useful because any tradition said by different sages, if followed, it will have what we call appropriateness, auchityam. Adhikam, it is excessive, is more. The more appropriateness is there, because whether people are middle class family people, or lower middle class, or upper middle class, or rich, or the opulent, then in whatever be the level, this Tantrantra Siddhanta will be useful. Meaning, in the temple, by the priest, if the worship is perfectly done, the whole nation will be prosperous. What we say, the GDP level goes up, and then the what we call there's what we call index of richness goes up. Though we are in the different layers of wealth, one is crorier, one is lachier, one is in with a few thousands, and one is in rags, RAGS. Then everybody is happy because of worshipping in a temple. Nissangastu. There are people who are not attached with money. So they are detached people. Nissangastu. So you understand by the Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya's Mohamudgara Stotram, called popularly as Bhajagovindam. He says, Nissangatve, Satsangatve, Nissangatvam. When you get attached to a good people's society, you become detached. So attachment gives rise to detachment. Satsangatve, Nissangatvam. Nissangatve, Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve, Nischalatatvam. Nischalatatve, Jivan Mukti. The last concept Vaishnava Sampradaya doesn't accept. Otherwise, all other steps are plausible. Possible and plausible. PLAUSIBL. Namely, when you get attached to a good companion, we get detached. That means detached with not with a good person, but with the world. Nissangatve, then we lose our confusion. So we iron our confusion. We give up our confusion. Nirmohatve. We can also say, according to Tamil, we give up our attraction. We give up our attraction towards this world. Nissangatve, nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve, nischala tattvam. We can understand the firm principle, namely Lord. Unrelentingly, we say, unrelentingly, we can have what we call full faith in the highest principle, namely the divinity, God. Nischala tattvam. Our mind will not be wavering. Our mind will not be like a swing. It will not swing. Our mind will not be a monkey jumping from one pleasure to another pleasure. And we will be attaining moksha. Therefore, attaining moksha, again, I remind you again and again, is what we call kainkaryam to the Lord, our spotless service to the Lord. So, Nissangastu, what do they do when they are detached? Swagrihadishu, they remain at home. They buy a home. They own a home. Swagrihadishu, that's why Swa is there. This is my house. This is my house. The property is registered in my name. There is a patta is there. No encumbrance certificate is there. Villanga சான்றிதழ் இருக்கிறது. Nobody can pluck my rather take away my property. Swagrihadishu. We have an attachment to the house. Swagrihadishu. Agama siddhantadi maryadam anutishtantu na. Our problem will be, our attachment should be heavy. We must follow anutishtantu. May all follow anutishtantu. Anushtanam is called anutishta. In verbal form is anutishtantu. Let us all follow. Let us all follow. Nama, indeed. Nama here meaning not name. Indeed, surely we must follow. What? Maryada. The limit. The limit means we must go to the extreme limit. What limit? Siddhanta Adi. What Siddhanta? Agama Siddhanta. Meaning, there is also a possibility of using the Agama in the house. When we do puja, Tiruvaradhanam, we can include some aspects of the temple worship. Either Pancaratra or Vaikhanasa, we can also have the same procedure adopted at home. So there is no problem. There is no prohibition. There is no ban. Nissangastu swagrihadishu. It's not a question whether the house is a rented house or owned house. Even in rented house, you have what you call your God there in the Salagrama form or the Vigraha form, metal form. Worship them according to Pancharatra or Vaikhanasa Agama as that is followed in the temple. Again, so ataha, therefore, tantrantara sthanishu. So when you have some books, the main books and the subsidiary books, the main books and the ancillary books. So Anya Siddhanta Avatarana. So if we come across another Siddhanta which is different from this, then suppose we download this Avataranam, downloading. This is what we speak today. So when we download another Siddhanta, Anya Siddhanta, Avatarana, Vachanam, so when we download the words from another Siddhanta, which we have not studied, which we have to go through to find out whether they are similar, same principles are given there, and so on, we have to test them. Then Apavarga Pratyasati. Now let us test them whether they are connected with the moksha. Apavarga is moksha. Apavarga is moksha. Because we are going away from this varga. Varga meaning the four vargas, chatur vargas, namely dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That means when we leave this dharma, artha, kama, that means we are going apavarga. We are out of this four, rather in the sense out of the three. Then we go to the moksha. So apavarga means moksha. Pratyasati, when it creates confidence. Pratipatti also can say. When we get attached to moksha, when we read some other book also, then atishaya nibandhana prashasti adhivaya param iti mantavya. It is acceptable. It is acceptable. Very, very beautiful expression is there. Very little hard to explain also. Atishaya, it should be wonderful. Nibandhana, it's what we call gathering of the ideas in the form of essay, for example. It has been stringed together. Nibandhana. All the good ideas have been stringed together in order to say that moksha is the final goal. Atishaya Nibandhana. So then that will be appreciated. Prashasti. Prashasti is appreciation. Then Adhivaya Param. It is beyond our age. I think I'm little hesitant to say this meaning, but I must check it up later. Adhivaya Param. So it doesn't correspond to any age. there are people who become prodigies in the young age, and they are more spiritual than the elders. So age doesn't matter. Kalidasa says in Kumar Sambhavam 5th canto, Panchama Sargaha, Dharma Vrdheshu Vayaha na samikshati. Dharma Vrdheshu, among the people who are mature in the piety, propriety, duty, and so on, age does not matter. So you can approach a very young man, very young lady to get taught. Today, you find that one young boy in a village in Goa, I think, Goa, near Maharashtra, he has been awarded by the Prime Minister Modi of our country. And he has been identified as a very great scholar in Shastras. And he is invited by the universities today for a discussion of the highest spiritual topics. I forget his name, just a 17-year-old boy, 17-year young boy. He is adept in all Shastras. He runs a school in the village, and the school is a traditional school. And today, all students flock together there, and they run there. It is a free school, fee-free Patasala. No money is charged. The food is provided, the accommodation is provided, because in a rural atmosphere. And university professors now invite him to talk. So young boy doesn't matter. Doesn't worry about. Do not worry about the age. So that's all. Adhivaya paramiti mantavya. It is beyond the scope of age. Now let us consider even Anya Siddhanta and some other Siddhanta which we have not so far come across, but now we have come across. Then we see that inside whether the moksha is the aim of the book, then we accept it. Tadapekshaya, more than that, better than that, tadapekshaya, eva idam muktam kalortare. In the future times, you will find in this Pancaratra Raksa, there will be a mention, eva muktam, thus said. What is it? So we were dividing the temples into categories, namely Swayam Vyaktam, Tatha, Divyam, Utkrishta Phaladam, Yataha iti. So we have been differentiating the temples like this. Swayam Vyaktam, Saidham, opened up or consecrated or established by Siddhas, successful people. And then sages, Arsham, and man-made, Manushyam. So Swayam Vyaktam, self-manifest temples. Swayam Vyaktam. Tatha Divyam, divine. A divine presence. Suddenly, the God comes out of the ground, earth, and shows himself up, and there is a temple constructed. So Divyam. Then these two, we always say, these two will give Utkrishta Phaladam. They will give the best fruit, meaning moksha. So there are two shades here. So it doesn't mean that these two will not give bhoga, point number one. And the other types of categories of temples will not also deny you moksha. These 2 points I think you can understand very easily. I repeat, Swayam Vyaktam and then Divyam can give you other goals of life also, whereas all other types of temples also can give moksha.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ